So traders, let's have an update today. Today is just all about a short-term technical analysis update on all the markets. Going to be looking at the stock market, be looking at the mining sector as well too, silver, gold. I'm going to be really focusing on the Fang stocks today as well too. So I'll be doing a bit of a deep dive on the Fang stocks and some other things that may come up in this market update. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into it. Before I start guys, make sure you grab that free trading course. A few weeks ago, I recorded a brand new trading course, walked you through the 5 phases. Phase number 1 is the biggest mistakes you're making right now and how to overcome them. Phase number 2 is all about chart reading mastery, the powerful chart reading strategies. Phase number 3 is all about using a free indicator to help you with overbought, oversold, and good entry and good times to be entering the markets. Phase number 7 is pretty something special. It's all about that 7 trades away from achieving 6 figures. And then also phase number 5 is all about my number 1 trading system, how I scan the markets for my number 1. I'm going to just give you my trading system, how I scan the markets, the 3 secrets to becoming a good trader, and the 1 thing I had to do to go from losing money to making money. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I can talk about there. Anyway, guys, very first link in the description, go get that because it's going to help you with your trading. So let's actually start off. Again, this is just a short-term technical analysis update. This is not big fundamentals and so on and so forth. This is just based on what the market is telling me right now. Okay, so let's start off with the good old S&P 500, and then we'll go from there. So S&P 500, a bit of a short-term TA for here. So the interesting thing is that we did have we had one support, and then we had another support through here. And then the market's actually breaking down. Now, what can happen sometimes is that if this is going to be some sort of a bottoming pattern, okay, because you can see here we actually broke down. Is this going to be some sort of a bottoming pattern in the markets? And if it is, we're going to see a reversal really quickly. Now, what I would like to see is that, or what I would like to see if that happens is this, okay? Is that we actually break down. We may even get a bit of a follow through here. And then we spend just a bit of time here and then we start to break back up. What you want to see is if we start to get that this week, this is going to be what's called a false breakout. False breakouts happen just like above here. Look at this. See what happened here? Look at this here. It actually what? It hit the resistance. It hit the resistance. It hit the resistance. And then it broke up. In this case, broke down, but it broke up. And then it just went sideways and then broke down. What was this here? This was what? A false breakout or like an end of trend indicator. See that through there? And then guess what? And then that was the start of what? That was the start of that downward sled through there. But the flip side is also true. If we break down and we start to create this little sideways movement and we start to break back up, this can also be an end of trend indicator, meaning this. This movement down is, if we start this movement down, if we get this pattern here moving forward, I'm not saying we are, but this is the big thing I'm watching for to see what actually happens this week. The reason why is because if we get that and we start to get this pattern, this is going to be, we had the trend, the movement was down, we get the reversal pattern and then the movement up through there. I'm not saying we're definitely going to get that. I do believe personally on a level that we're getting very, very close to a significant level through here. We do actually have a bit of a short-term level of support through there. As you can see, that last level of support through here, there was a bit of a level through there back in May. So even if we do get a bit more downside to come, let's actually go to the 3-month view. Even if we do get a bit more downside to come, it may actually just get down the bottom here and then start to reverse. So that's going to be really, really, really interesting. So that's a big, big pattern to watch out for to see whether we're going to continue down or not in the S&P 500 through there. Move over now through to the Dow Jones and look at this here, guys. This worked out exactly the way that target filled, right? Target filled. Because look at this here. That's that line through there. Look at this. Look what happened today. This is the double top that I drew here. And at the time when I was watching this, the big thing about trading, guys, it's always about flowing with the market, right? So up, move, higher low. Oh, no, what's happening now? We're now making a double top. So we went from a higher low to double top. And then when we broke that level, guess what? Now we have what? Now we have a target of the double top. And then look what happened there on Friday. It just absolutely just hit the nail on the head when it comes to that through there. So, but the Dow Jones is not really giving me any real good strong sign, because we're definitely at a strong level of support through here. So I'm not getting any real good strong sign through there. If anything, is that if we start to, let me just take that off the screen here. What could potentially happen is that we're going to start to get potentially, if I draw a trend line from there to there, that's going to be my, you know how I like to use my momentum trend lines? Momentum trend line just simply means I'm just looking to use when's the momentum in that particular, that leg in the market likely to end, right? So if we draw, and all I'm doing is I'm just connecting the highs, or even in the upside, right? So I'm just connecting, see all these lows through here? So all I'm doing is I'm just connecting all the lows of the bottoms, and then when we broke, that came to an end. Connecting all the highs, right? And then when we broke, this downward leg came to an end. So that's all I'm doing through here. Is I'm just trying to see where is this likely to end once we actually break that. So it doesn't actually happen all the time. Like you can see here, we had like that level through there. It broke it, came down, found support, so on and so forth. So we could actually get something like what I was talking about before, where we get a flush down and then a complete reversal out of the market. So this is definitely one thing I'm going to be watching for this week myself, to see what's going to happen here with the Dow Jones. Because if we do, then I do believe we're going to start to see a very nice move to the upside. I really do believe, guys, on the picture of it, is that I really do believe that we're getting close to a really significant bottom in the market. Now it may not be now, and maybe we may have a bit of a choppy May, but then moving into June and July, and then moving into the second half of this year, there's so much blood in the streets right now, and sentiment is so low right now, and there's so much negativity in the market that there's going to be some sort of a rally. Now, how much of that rally, it's going to be really interesting to see what it is, because with sentiment and so much bearishness in these markets right now, we're likely to see that. But looking on a technical analysis point of view, we can see here, this is that major support level. So if we do start to break back, if we still start to break that down, and we start to get the reversal, that'll be the pattern that's starting to fall in my head, right? If we get a breakdown here, and then we start to see a reversal back up, then that'll be like, okay, then now this is probably going to be a false breakout, etc., etc. Move over now through to the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq is doing the same sort of thing as well too. The Nasdaq, you'll notice the Nasdaq and the S&P have really close level of support. So we have been coming down for quite some time, just been very, very, very nicely down move. We have a bit of a support around the 12,000 level there. So that's going to be that's going to be a level that I'm going to be seeing what actually happens here. Because you can see there's a very close level of support on the Nasdaq. And if I go to the S&P, you can see also here, very close support on the S&P as well too. So we can see that level through there. So maybe, just maybe, the market's going to continue down this week until we get that rate announcement this week. We know they're going to raise it, because what actually happened last time they raised rates, guess what? The market actually went down. That was that point here. And then they raised rates right here. It was one of these days right here. And then guess what? Then the market took off. Maybe that's what's going to happen again. Maybe history is just repeating itself. It's going to come down, 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 down. Right? Maybe not do much for a while like it did here. It just went sideways into the rate announcement. Maybe we're just going to go sideways into the rate announcement. Then after the rate announcement, maybe we're going to then start to see a reversal out of the markets. Maybe that's going to happen, because that's exactly what actually happened last time. Last time the Fed announcement raised the rates, market took off. Is it going to happen again? Let's have a look at the Russell markets there. Let me take that off the screen there. So we definitely did get a very strong. We were in a bit of a sort of a tightening pattern through there. I'd have to say somewhere through there that'd be the pattern. We had a little bit of false breakout, and then the market took off, and then the market then started to come back down, and now we're starting to see this movement on the downside. It's going to be really interesting to see how all this plays out. We are at getting to a very close level of, or we are at that level of support right now. So Russell's actually very, 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 very sort of choppy. We're not getting really any good strong sign or any good strong significant patterns that's going on here. So yeah, there's really not much that I'm seeing right now when it comes to this. That the only thing I'm seeing right now is we still are creating these lower highs in the market's high. We've got a lower high in the market starting to come down. So right now the sellers are in control. We want to see that thing turn around if that's going to be the case for the markets there. I do want to cover the energy sector as well too. The energy sector has been a big sector that a lot of people have been focusing on, and for the last month or so, I've been telling my private clients to basically don't touch energy sector. I just said don't touch it. And the reason why is because we've already made a big move. If we look at our weekly charts, we already made a massive move, and we're at this major level of resistance on the energy sector. And energy sector has already made a big move, and a lot of traders, and this is why I was telling all my private clients that don't touch the energy sector. Just don't become part of it. Now, I'm not saying if there's a trading setup for us, then yeah, trade it. But if you're looking for an investment opportunity, then don't be looking at the energy sector, because most people tend to jump on things that are already made big moves, and that's always the very big counterintuitive thing, right? Because if something makes a big move like this, then most people are hearing about it here, and here after it's made big. That's when most people are hearing about it, right? Just like with the cryptos. But then guess what's inevitably going to happen? Just like with the cryptos, right? When the market does that, we're never going to get a very good pullback, and then you're like, oh my goodness, this is so rigged, blah blah blah. The market stopped me out, it burnt me. Like, no, you just don't know how the markets work. You got in up here when everyone else was talking about it because you thought, oh, this thing's done 40% in the last 2 months. Maybe it's going to do another 40% in the next 2 months, right? We think, okay, what's doing really well right now is going to do really well moving forward. And that's always the hardest thing about trading. So we can see that level, this major level here of resistance. And then also we can see here, and this is a big thing I was telling my private clients, is this, right? You can see here, look at this here, right? So we can see here that we have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? But remember, this is the short-term picture, but then look what happened here. What is this right here? This is what? It's a false breakout, isn't it? Remember I said before with the S&P 500? And again, guys, this is all about not just a market update. This is me teaching you how to read the market so you can get a good understanding. Okay, where are we? What's going on? Sometimes it's creating really nice patterns, like, oh, look at beautiful patterns. Sometimes it's like, I have no idea what's going on with this particular stock, right? And that's okay, right? Then if that's the case, then just leave that alone. And then other times you can start to say, okay, we know we're very overextended on the weekly charts, and then suddenly we broke up to new highs, resistance, and look what happened here. What is this here? This is what? This is a end of trend indicator. And all that means is that the market was going up, stepping up, and then it broke to a new high. We flattened out, and then we actually reversed through there, right? As a false breakout to the upside, and then sucked everyone in, got everyone long because they think, hey, here we go again, and then guess what? The market actually tanked, and now it's doing this. So the energy sector is actually starting to wane right now. So I definitely wouldn't want to be looking at the energy sector. I did actually trade the energy sector at the start of the year. I traded it right here on this little breakout here. That was that breakout there. See that breakout right there? That was the breakout there, because, and again, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know the number one thing that I'm always looking for is I'm looking for a period of quiet time when the market's not doing anything. Then when we do break out, we're likely to make a very nice move. And that's what I did through there. And it was actually quite a nice trade for the first few months of this year. And then obviously I've been doing some other stuff as well too. So, but that's obviously what I'm looking for on the energy sector there, guys. Let's go have a look at gold. Gold right now, again, just really not much going on with gold. If I bring it up to a big picture here, we can see that there's a bit of a support level down here. I wouldn't be too surprised if gold actually got a bit more of a pullback out of this level here. It's just going to be really, really interesting. Now, there is a few things that I'm watching for to take advantage of some short-term movement. But the big picture on gold is that I wouldn't be too surprised if we did come back down to level through here. Maybe even hold support and then start to come back up. I just like with the stock market, we haven't got that big capitulation yet. Normally at the end of big moves or the end of a really big end of trend type of indicator, we get capitulation type moves, right? Look at this here. Big capitulation, very big up. Very big capitulation to the upside, and then that was the end of the trend there, right? So we generally get capitulation type of moves, and then the reversal comes into it, right? So maybe we're going to get that here. Maybe we won't. Maybe this is just going to continue up from here. So that's always the thing I'm keeping an eye on for when it comes to gold through there. But again, this is the big picture through here. But one thing I am watching for is that this is so that was the daily charts on the weekly chart. That's the big picture there, right, guys? But one thing I am watching, and I've been watching now for the last couple of days, is I've been looking at the hourly chart with gold. The short-term hourly chart on gold is starting to turn around, and this could be the first sign to see that daily chart start to turn back up. All right, so are we going to continue down to here and find support and rally back up, or are we? So this is the if scenarios, or are we just doing a false breakout? Bear with me for a minute, okay, guys. Bear with me, okay. Are we just doing another false breakout or breakdown, which is an end of trend indicator? Now, remember, end of trend, when I say that, I mean the market's been going down for a bit, and then it creates the pattern, and then we get the reversal. Make sense, guys? So that's what I say when I say end of trend. It's like that. Just same with, you saw with the stock market example, you saw with the same... you saw with the energy example as well too. The market's been going up. It creates a pattern, and then we get the reversal, right? And the pattern is simply this. Once again, guys, the pattern is. Let me just actually go to the examples here. I just want to quickly reiterate once again what the pattern is. The pattern is when the market actually has an area of resistance, it breaks up, it doesn't move, and then it breaks back down. That's generally an end of trend type of indicator, right? So that's what I'm looking through there to see if we do get something like that. Same for the energy sector as well too, right? This is the same thing. Look what happened through here. We actually had a strong area of resistance. It broke up, it did nothing, it broke back down after breaking up to a new high for this year, and then reversed. That was saying, okay, the movement here, this upward trend, created the end of trend indicator, and once we got this, then we started to see the reversal down. So if I go back to gold now, are we about to see this here being the end of trend indicator? So, and the big thing I'm watching for is this. Look at this here. So that's that major level of support. We actually did break down below here. Is this, again, we got down, we're now going sideways through here. So now I'm going to go to my hourly chart. So I'm looking at the daily chart now. I'm going to go to my hourly chart now. I'm going to dig a bit deeper. And then what I'm going to see is I'm looking at this here, and we're getting the first sign of potentially that being, this daily chart here, being that end of trend. Because if I go to my hourly charts, I'm going a bit advanced here, guys, so you might want to watch this a few times. And that's why I'm trying to repeat myself a few times just so you guys can get it as well, is that we're starting to get this, we got, remember, downtrend high, lower high, lower high. But what is this? This is what? A higher low. Now, sorry, no, a higher high, right? So we have a high, a lower high, a lower high, and this is now what? A higher high. The downward trend has broken. Big sign. The question mark is this: are we going to create some sort of significant higher low here? Because if it does, guess what? What is an upward trend? An upward trend is what? Higher lows. Higher lows, higher highs. Higher lows, higher highs. Breaking past these previous high points through here. Okay, so that's an upward trend. But then sometimes you get the market coming down. When the market comes down, it makes a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, rallies up, creates a higher high. So we're no longer getting lower highs. This is like this point through here is now the warning sign to say, hang on a minute, hang on, hey. We may be now changing trend. We may be going from a downtrend. Maybe we're starting to build a bit of an uptrend again. And then the market pulls back like it does here. if the buyers come in here and we start to break above previous highs, guess who's in control right now? The buyers, right? Because what? The trend has changed. Again, guys, this is just me flowing with the market. And then once we get that, so if we do get this here and we do get something like this on the hourly chart, right? Maybe we get that and then it starts to build up here and we start to get a break above there. Guess what? Now we got a low, head and shoulder formation as well too, right? But now we got a low and we got a higher low breaking past. If we did get that and we started to break past 1920, guess who's in control right now? The buyers, all right? Now this is the hourly chart. Now if we did get something like that and then the market started to create an upward trend like this, what would that mean for the daily chart? Remember, this is the hourly chart. If we go back to the daily charts now, what would the daily chart look like if that was the case? Like, oh, we would get something like this, wouldn't we? And then what would that mean? That would mean this would be a false breakout. And then what would that mean? On a short-term target, we would have a target of around the 2000 level, somewhere around about there on a short-term target. Because generally what happens is if we break below the support and we get back above, we have at least a target of the other side of that resistance point there. So we break down, we create the pattern, we actually get the reversal. When we get the reversal, you get to the other side of the channel, generally gets to the other side of the channel there. Right, so here's an example of what I'm talking about here. Here's a trade that I did. This actually wasn't that long ago, actually. It's the exact same thing that I'm talking about right now, right? So look at this here. We have what? We have the channel. It actually broke down. And then guess what? We actually started to get what? So this was the major level of support level through here. So we have that major level of support through there. We actually broke down, came down, found the low. And then guess what we have? Then we had this low. Then we found this significant what? We found a higher low. And then we got back above. This point right here was what? It was two things. It was now getting back into the channel, which is now saying this whole movement through here was what? A false breakout. But then we're also getting a higher low. And then once we got this good big up bar, which is actually then breaking past previous highs, guess what? Bullish up bar after higher low back in the channel. Guess what? Buyers are in control. And then remember I said before that whenever we get whenever we get the channels and we get the movement like this, and then we get a breakout and then we get back in and we get the false breakout pattern, generally the target is to the other side. And as you can see here, this is just one of those beautiful trades that sometimes it takes a bit of time because sometimes it'll actually come back down to here and then find support and then rally back up and then do that and then get like there. But this one here was just a beautiful example of we got the break down or break out of the channel. Then we got back inside the channel and then guess what? It ran to what? Remember I said before that generally the target's to the other side of the channel. And that's the example there. So that was a trade that I talked not that long ago. So that's the same thing that's setting up right now on gold. And as you can see, if I bring it back through to here, you can see even if I bring that just a bit lower as well too, you can see how we're getting this potential higher low trend change. You can see how we've actually, there's something else happening now with gold underneath the scenes that's happening there. You can see this downward trend. We could be starting to see that upward trend there. So there we go, guys. There's a bit of a deep TA for you guys on to get you started for this Monday. So let's actually go to silver, and silver is actually completely opposite to gold. Silver is just this weak thing, right? Because gold did this. Gold had this major level support. Gold's here right now. Gold's just doing this, potentially getting ready for a move up. Silver's just been getting absolutely hammered, and so I'm not in silver right now myself. It just hasn't given me any good movement through here, right? If we have a look at this weekly charts, we take everything off the screen here. Again, we're just not getting any good strong. Silver's just not creating any really good, strong, significant patterns. We're just getting very ugly movement here. That's all it is. It's really ugly. We did create a movement up and a movement down. Then we got that high low. But then it came up. We got this lower high. Now the sells are knocking it down. So silver's getting its head cut off big time. Let's go have a look at the mining sector right now. So the big thing for the mining sector that I'm still watching for right now is to see if we're going to get some sort of reversal, because the overall picture is still in line of getting a higher low here, because we did actually we had this movement up through here. Now we're getting a very nice pullback through here. So there's a real good probability we're going to start to see this thing movement up. As you can see, we did get that very good strong breakout. And remember I said before too about, if you remember gold, right? Look, let's actually go back to the to gold. But I want to go back to the gold hourly chart. Remember I said before with the gold hourly chart how the market actually does this, where we have this lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and then suddenly we create a higher high and it comes back down. This could be a higher low, and if it is, then that's going to be the start of a big upward move. Remember the trend on that gold chart. Well, if I take that same analysis, right, so it's the exact same thing, because that's what's creating the pattern, and I go back to the daily charts. Again, guys, whether it's a daily chart and an hourly chart, it's the exact same thing, right, because it's just the patterns I'm looking for. You can see the exact same thing that's happening here. Look at this here. We have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So we're having a bit of a downward trend. We've rallied up to what? A higher high. And now we're actually breaking back down. That looks exactly like the gold hourly chart right now. So the reason I'm saying that is because if we do over the next few weeks, a month or so, if we do start to pick back up and we break past there, guess what? We're now likely to getting ready. If we get this over the next few months, we're going to see a rocket ship out of the mining sector here if we do get this pattern. So that's a very, very, very strong pattern. We start to get that, guys. Mining sector is going to be an absolute rocket ship. That's the same for the GDXJ as well too. Same thing, movement up. If I create that level there, you can see what's happened here. We had a we had a lower high, lower high, lower high. We had a higher high. Is this going to be some sort of a higher low? Before away we go. And so the big thing also too, guys, is that generally what happens is that gold will go for a very big move before a recession. It actually hasn't made a big move yet, so recession hasn't even been on. Like we're probably going to go for a good 6 to 12 month movement on the gold first before we see some sort of topping action in the stock market. That's what gives me the confidence to say, okay, we're probably going to get some upside. So maybe, just maybe, we're going to start to see a bit of a bottoming over the next few weeks, and then we're going to start to see a very good rise across all markets. Because we're starting to get the potential false breakouts, with the stock market and stuff like that as well too. Silver mining sector, that's also creating the same. The SILJ is creating the same thing, right? Because we have a lower high, and then we had a higher high. Is this going to be a higher low? It's not creating the exact same pattern because we did get like a bit of a double top formation there, and then the SILJ. The SIL itself has just, it's been one of the worst ones out of the whole lot, right? Lower high, and then we've had these just slight highs through here, and we've got the breakout through there. Again, SILJ has been absolutely just horrible. Let's have a quick look at just the Fang stocks for you guys today. So let's actually start off with good old Google. Google is continuing to have a very, very strong pullback. Let's have a look at the weekly chart here with Google. Just having a look here. Yeah, so not much going on there. Let's go have a look at a short-term TA with Google. So we're continuing this downward trend through here. Very, 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 very strong downward trend. We definitely have a significant level of support. So for me to get back into the bullish camp, I would really need to see this thing break above here as well too. So very, very, very strong breakdown past that 2,500 level. But just, for me to start to get bullish on this thing again, would have to be above that 2,500 level. Let's go have a look at Meta. And Meta actually did create like a little bit of a false breakout pattern, as you can see. So we created this little bit of a false breakout here, and then we've got like a bit of a gap up level through here. So that's going to be quite interesting to see what happens there. But I'm personally staying away from Facebook, and the reason why is because there's big gap through here. So I just want to see more data start to come through here for me personally. I don't like big gaps like that, and then it's just very, very, very ugly. We're not getting any good sort of pattern recognition here. We are finding a good double bottom level through, but we are in a big downward trend. So we really want to see that thing start to turn around. Obviously, Amazon's actually a real good one that I'm actually watching, because we're possibly getting back down to a major level of support in the markets, because if we see Amazon, right, we have the support level here, support level here, support level here. If the market does come back down, we may be getting ready for a major significant bounce when it comes to Amazon through here. So that's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens there. Do we get the bounce? Because if we do, then guess what? I'll be looking to then jump on that trend, right? But we want to wait for the bounce first. We don't want to catch it because it can just keep going down. What I'm looking for is maybe potentially a false breakout pattern, right? So we have that significant level through there. Maybe we do come down through to here, and then when we start to do something like this, and then we get back up that level through there, like maybe we get that, or maybe we get a beautiful higher low, and we start to really change that trend. So they're the big things that I'm really watching for when it comes to Amazon. What are the other stocks that I'm not thinking about? Let's just go have a look at Netflix. Guys, don't touch Netflix. Netflix is just, that's horrible, guys. Let's just stay away from Netflix. Isn't it amazing? Netflix last year was one of the stellar companies, right? From like, look what it's done, right? Went from like what, 0 to 700. Like that's been, and then look what happened here. Just completely fell off the cliff. And what else am I missing here? What else am I not thinking about? Let's just have a look at Tesla while I'm here as well too, guys. Let me just have a quick look at Tesla. Tesla's actually really interesting because, let me take all that off the screen, because we are getting close to a significant level of support. We do have this big sort of triangle pattern that it's actually building right now. So it's going to be real. Again, it's just, the breakout on Tesla is going to be enormous, because look at this here. We've been developing all this sideways range through here for quite some time now, right? Really good, strong, significant sideways range. So all this time here, whenever the market does this, whenever the market goes sideways, it's getting ready for a big move, right? Like here, look at this here. Sideways, compressing up, big move. Didn't do much for a long time, big move, right? So this here, we're just probably going to go through here, and then wherever it breaks, we're going to get a significant move. Now, maybe we get that and then that. I know a lot of Tesla folks are out there saying, here we go, right? And this is where, guys, I know a lot of people out there look at fundamentals, right? It's like, oh, fundamentally, this shouldn't be happening, but it is happening. That's where, guys, if you can't trade based off fundamentals. You can invest off fundamentals. Investing is when you get into a position and you hold it for many years, right? Because it's a good company. Like Barber, right? But Barber, if we actually go look at Barber has a valuation of what? 280 or something right now? That's where it should be trading. Somewhere around 280. But look where it is right now. It's actually, less than 100. But that's the thing here, right? This is what's happening this year. But people investing in Barber right now know that there's a real high probability over the next couple of years, we're going to see Barber back up to those highs through there. So I'm actually also watching Barber as well too, because I do know how good of a company Barber is fundamentally, but I'm waiting for the chart to turn around. What am I waiting for? Just a simple higher low. Right, let's just get a higher low through level 3. Let's get a higher low. Let's actually start to create like a bit of a bottoming pattern as well. So anyway, guys, I will just leave it there, and I hope you enjoyed today's market update, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey traders, I'm giving away 100% free access to my brand new breakthrough full trading course. This is 8 videos over 10 hours of pure amazing and powerful strategies. This is my most powerful systems and strategies that I've used for the last 16 years. And I'm giving it away for free. So this is what I want you to do right now. I want you to go to johnsfreegift.com, or there should be a link around here somewhere, a button or in the description or somewhere in there. Click on that and you can go get free access to my brand new breakthrough trading course. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now. Go to that right now, guys. You can get full, complete, free membership access. Go do that right now.